The Trailblazers play before the hometown crowd here in downtown Portland, Oregon. A quick check now at the starting five for both teams. And guys, check out Ricky Rubio. What can we expect here?
Well, he helps his team win because he knows what he's capable of, which is defending and in particular taking charges.
A moment to check in with Doris Burke. Doris?
Well, guys, the head coach of the Portland Trailblazers gave me just a couple of minutes. We talked about the challenges posed by a player like Ricky Rubio, such a tremendous passer and floor general. Coach said, we know he can make plays, but making shots is where he's been less effective. We need to focus on staying home and forcing him to beat us with his scoring. Guys, we'll see if they can limit his highlight reel dives. Back to you.
Thanks, Doris. Looking at the last game for the Minnesota Timberwolves, it was a loss to Golden State.
Well, they were lucky it wasn't a blowout because they didn't put forth a very strong performance in that one.
Yeah, they just couldn't find anything to work for them, Steve. No matter what approach they used, it was futile.
Here's the beast. The shot misses. And it's Portland the other way. Fresh from a win against the Nuggets.
I just love the rhythm they got into offensively. I mean, they really started to click from the outset, and it carried through the whole way.
And that result was indeed impressive. They basically cruised all the way home.
Here's Rubio. And once again off the mark by Minnesota.
You know, he's not a name that a lot of people think of when you listen to the top post defenders in the NBA, but I believe LaMarcus Aldridge is one of the most underrated post defenders in the NBA because of that length and quickness.
Brooks with the bucket. 1:06 left to play in the first quarter. And Rubio kicks to Pekovic. And that one is hammered home.
Their offense has really come together immediately, threatening to run away with this game.
It's hard to imagine they'll be able to stay as hot as they've been so far, but if they can, watch out.
Getting back to Aldridge, he doesn't block a ton of shots, Clark, or get a terribly high amount of steals, but he makes things very difficult on whoever he's guarding.
Yeah, you know, his numbers don't indicate how valuable he is defensively in terms of blocked shots. What he does, though, as you said, Kevin, is challenge shots. And he never gives up easy baskets to the guy he's guarding. He's a pretty good help defender as well.
The Beast passes to Pekovic. The Beast knocks down the three ball. The Beast's got his first 3 points of the game.
Well, with this soft D, they're allowing them to shoot a very high percentage from the field so far.
Yeah, and they're just not offering any resistance, not making anything difficult for them, and they're able to kind of do whatever they want to do.
The drive by Brooks. The kick out to Matthews. Another shot. Aldridge, no line. Here's Rubio. He passes to the Beast. That's short off the rim. The first quarter concludes in a double-digit lead on the scoreboard. Timberwolves. Next Monday. Trailblazers trail by 17. So on the floor for Minnesota. The Beast in its shooting guard. Zhang is out there with Cunningham. Then there's J.J. Barea. And it's Buttinger in at the 3. Second quarter of action, about a minute and a half played.
Boy, you talk about a franchise having some terrible luck with injuries. Portland is certainly that team. A lot of emerging stars in Rip City have had their careers or tenure cut short because of injury. And the injury bug, once again, reared its head for Portland.
And the basket is good. And one thing I was going to mention tonight was to see if either of you watched the press conference after their last game.
Well, Kevin, I happened to see the press conference, and, you know, I appreciated his remarks because that's what you have to say. I mean, every player loves having a great game, loves scoring a lot, and there's no question you feel good about that. But if the team doesn't win, you can't say anything about your own self and your own numbers. So he understands how this works, and he said the right things.
And that one's good by Aldridge. As you said, with the Blazers throughout the ages, they've had to deal with injuries to guys like Walton and Oden and most recently Roy. Unfortunately, Steve, starting over is something that they are used to doing.
But they are in a pretty good position to do so right now, Kevin. I think they've been really good in the draft the last couple of years. Obviously, they got a star in Damian Lillard that they can build around. To me, the key is LaMarcus Aldridge. Can they re-sign him? Can he be that dominant low-post guy in Portland for the next 5 or 6 years? He sure has the potential.
And that's a foul called on the Beast. That is his first foul of the game.
I like the call. I thought the defense was moving there.
Yeah, I think he slid underneath. Good blocking call that trip.
Here in the second quarter, we've played a little over 2.5 minutes now. Lillard attacking. Outside for Batum. 4 on the clock. They get it back. Here's Robinson. Rebound, Minnesota. Last time they met was in Minnesota.
Yeah, that last matchup was really a tough game. And I thought the difference was they got some scoring from their bench, and they needed it. But that depth really was the issue.
Let's go now to the sideline and catch up with Doris Burke. Hey, Doris.
Thanks, Kevin. The Beast in their last matchup against the Warriors had a huge game. He dropped in 32 points, and that scoring outburst set a new season high for him in what was a great exhibition on his part. Just numbers that really jump out at you in a box score.
All right, Doris, thank you. It really was a stunning performance, Clark. He was at his absolute best in this game.
Yeah, and the only thing about having a game like that, Kevin, is that it's almost impossible to duplicate it here tonight.
Well, nobody's expecting that, Clark, and they don't need him to do that. If he's even half as good as he was that night, it should be enough.
As Steve alluded to, Clark, the previous matchup wasn't decided until the final moments.
Yeah, I recall that being a fantastic game, and one of the great things about it were those unlikely heroes from off the bench.
Minnesota on D. A 21-point lead, the biggest in the game. The drive by Brooks. Outside Matthews. Back to Brooks. From downtown. A rebound by Pekovic. Pekovic has got 4 rebounds now tonight. Martin kicks to Rubio. And it's going to be out of bounds. The Trailblazers will take it. And we've got a chance now to get caught up on how the standings are looking in the West as we make the push through midseason. You look at Minnesota. They're 6th right now in the conference with lots of time to make a move. And, of course, Portland, a game behind.
I think for the Trailblazers, unfortunately, mediocre is a word we've often heard used to describe their overall performance this season.
Hey, I expected them to be a few rungs up the ladder from where they are. That drive, that motivation has been sorely lacking.
He hit a 3 in the first, but so far has been unable to capitalize here in this quarter. The D has gotten a little lax defending the three-point shot at that end.
Agreed, Clark. They've poured in 3 of the last 5 baskets on pretty open looks behind the arc.
You know, guys, I think back to some of the most exciting passers ever to play the game. Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, the late Pete Maravich come to mind. I think Rubio is of that ilk. If you think about those guys, they weren't just great assist guys, but they were able to give you assists that had some flair and some flavor to it.
Williams kicks to Rubio. Pass to the Beast. Shoots from 12. It's off his foot. And the ref saying he kicked it. Big good substitution now for Minnesota. Monte Cunningham's checked in for Derek Williams.
Now, presented by Sprint.
Welcome to Halftime. I'm your host, Damon.
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
Into the third we go. 2 minutes in now. Lillard dishes to Robinson. Outside Matthews. And that's good. Robinson picking up the assist. Matthews has got 7.
Well, Kevin, probably his greatest value lies in his tremendous three-point shooting. When he's out on the perimeter, it gives them the ability to really stretch the defense out.
And it's his scrappiness, Steve, that also makes him a special player. I can't tell you how many times I've seen him dive into the second row going after a loose ball.
Lillard and Matthews pair up in the backcourt. The forwards are Batum and Thomas Robinson, and it's Aldridge in at the 5 spot. That's the group on the floor for Portland. Not quite 2.5 minutes played here in the second half. Clock at 6. Pekovic passes to Love. The 3-ball. Batum grabs the miss. Batum's got his 4th rebound in this one. Batum off the pick from Aldridge. And Batum kicks to Lillard. Rebound, Minnesota. Love's got 5 rebounds tonight.
More often than not today, those shots have not dropped for him.
Martin kicks to Rubio. Nice ball movement by Minnesota. Back to Love. The feed now to Rubio. Love. Here's the beast. He's got 14. Second chance shot. He lays it in. Pekovic has got 16 points.
Boy, what a great job making good on the second opportunity. He stayed with that play from start to finish.
Lillard against Rubio. Lillard dishes to Aldridge.
And LaMarcus Aldridge, an all-star for the 3rd straight season. You know, looking back, he's really been the jewel of that 2006 draft class where he went 2nd overall.
Minnesota making some changes. Ronny Turioff, he's checked in for Nikola Pekovic. Cunningham comes in for Kevin Love. And it's Budinger in for Kevin Martin. The pass to the beast. He kicks it to Cunningham. Now the dish to Barea. Here's the beast. A second chance effort. And a foul on the shot. He'll go to the stripe for 2. That's on LaMarcus Aldridge. And a moment now to check out who Minnesota has coming up. They get to take on the Bulls at Chicago after this one. And that will conclude a 4-game road trip. Clark, you talk about Aldridge and what he's meant to the Trailblazers. Really the franchise player, Steve, in Portland. I think they look at him that way.
And for a team that had to rebuild on the fly after losing so many of their key players to injury, going back to Brandon Roy and Greg Oden, it's nice to see the Blazers bounce back and start to get Aldridge some help with guys like Damian Lillard and Batum and Matthews.
Watson kicks to Aldridge. And guys, let's get your take on the hustle stats for the Timberwolves.
I thought we might see a little defensive adjustment at halftime, but the fast break continues to be effective.
Something that's also benefited them tonight are the turnovers they've forced and the points that have come along with those forced turnovers.
There's 1:38 left in the 3rd. Here's the beast, and Aldridge with the block. Oh, here we go. McCollum's got it. The fast break chance, and Wright throws it down hard.
I'd say that fast break went according to plan.
Yeah, it sure did. A good job getting it started, and a better job finishing it off.
Passes to the beast. For 3. It's all in by LaMarcus Aldridge.
In this quarter, he's really been off the mark. He just looks a little bit unsettled.
Minnesota leading by 16. Caught.
He's been anything but his usual self this quarter. It's actually been ugly to see.
And Wright kicks to McCollum. And that's a foul called on the beast. So that will be his 2nd foul of the game. We're in the bonus, and we'll go to the line to shoot 2. Minnesota's gotten the 3-point bug tonight. They've taken 15 shots outside the arc. They're 6 of 15. All fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset the lineups courtesy of Gatorade for the 4th quarter. So on the floor for Minnesota, big men, Love and Pekovic. Beast out there with Ricky Rubio. And it's Martin in at the 3, the small forward. Aldridge, he's guarded by Love. There's Matthews. Gets the front of the rim and out.
Now you can see why the defense is willing to let him take that shot. That's really not his range.
Pass to the Beast. He dishes it to Martin. Shot clock at 5. And it's Portland with the rebound. Aldridge has got 6 rebounds in the game. They can look forward to the Oracle Arena after this game. Matchup against Golden State. That'll be just 1 game played away from home for them. Timberwolves leading by 15. Here's the Beast. Drilled from 11 feet out. And we're about 2 minutes into the 4th quarter now. And Lillard kicks to Aldridge. Shoots from 8 and blocked. Here's the Beast. Aldridge is covering. No good from the Beast.
That's not an opportunity he fails to convert very often.
Batum for 3. Great D that time from Martin.
Boy, he's got a nice looking stroke. That almost went in.
Yeah, a lot of times he'll hit that shot regardless of the defense.
And that one's good. Pekovic.
His shooting's been outstanding. Definitely one of the reasons his team is up in this game.
They could use a big shot here to get this offense going.
Sure could, Kevin. I mean, too many empty trips. They need some points.
And Matthews gets it to go.
Good job creating just enough space to let that one fly.
The Timberwolves have gone 3 of 7 from the floor in the 4th. That's a 42% mark in the quarter. So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there. And McCollum compares himself, Clark, to Damian Lillard and Steph Curry, 2 other small school guys with great shooting touches.
Well, you know what I like to say, half game will travel, and McCollum has game. There's no question about that, Kevin. He's going to do fine in the NBA, and those guys he compares himself with have shown they're capable.
And the Timberwolves making a change here. Buddinger's checked in. And Brooks, here we go.
Getting to the stripe is something they've been doing a lot of in the second half, guys.
And when you're behind, I think that's a great strategy. Not only do you get easy points, but the clock stops as well.
Both shots good from the stripe. Here's the Beast. Rubio, the pass to Love. Pekovic. Thomas Robinson with the rebound. Robinson's got his 6th rebound on the night. Matthews into the lane. Here's Batum. Second shot opportunity. And you know that's going to be goaltending, guys. So that's a free basket right there.
He thought he had that one clean, but the ref saw it differently. They'll count the basket.
Timberwolves leading by 14. We've played just over 3.5 minutes now in the 4th quarter. Here's the Beast. He's covered by Matthews. Here's the Beast. Shot clock at 3. Brings it from 9 feet away. The Beast's got 6 here in this quarter. Portland's gone 1 of 3 from outside the arc since we reached the 4th quarter. Brooks dishes to Batum. Back to Brooks. He feeds it to Robinson. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Here's the Beast. And boy, that looked like goaltending. Yes, it is. And so they will award the basket there.
He almost got to that shot in time, but not quite. You can't touch the ball once it's on the way down.
Can you hear the crowd kind of murmuring? I don't think they agreed with the officials on that one.
Steve, I tell you what, they're really letting them have it.
Aldridge with a screen on Rubio. Here's Brooks. Good D by Rubio. Minnesota leading by 18. Feeds it to Budinger. Back to Rubio. Pekovic with the screen for Rubio. Love outside. Stolen by Robinson. 1:06 left in the 4th. The drive by Brooks. Loses his man off the screen and lays it up and in. Brooks has got 4 this quarter.
Well, the pick worked really well there. Nice job taking it right to the 10 for the layup.
The pass to the Beast. From outside the arc. That's good. It's Rubio with the assist.
There you go. That's the stroke we saw in the first half.
The Trailblazers shooting just 39% from the field, struggling to find that net. Brooks outside. Back to Batum. There's the triple. Rebound, Minnesota. 22 is their biggest lead. 30 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Love kicks to Buddington. The Timberwolves working the ball around now. Pekovic, no good. Aldridge with some nice D. And the Trailblazers shooting a paltry 33% in the fourth. Not a good showing for this offense. Batum, good. Rubio with it.
Watch outside.
And so it's the Timberwolves taking care of business here. They put on a show tonight, thoroughly controlling each end of the floor.
Hey, what?
Your team breezed the victory this time around. It's got to be nice to get a little break tonight in the midst of a long season with more close games than you'd probably like. Your thoughts?
Looking for a better way to get up out of bed instead of getting on the internet and checking a new hit. Me get up, first shot, strut walking.